This is a podcast from Torfaen Voluntary Alliance. Hello, I'm Patrick Downs. Welcome to Word from the Third, where we'll be taking a look at all the big stories and news from the third sector here in Torfaen. Today then joined by Martin from Pontnewydd Male Choir. Now, first question, I've always thought it's male voice choir, but that's not the case now, is it?
Well, not for us. I can't tell you exactly why, but yes, they insist that the choir should be called Pontnewydd Male Choir. It's a traditional thing, and I'm sure we're not going to change it unnecessarily.
How did you get involved then with the choir?
Well, I was a member of a male voice choir previously. That choir was called the Melatones, and unfortunately, after many years of membership, the numbers dwindled. So I joined Pontnewydd Male Choir, which was a very much bigger choir, well established and well thought of. So I thought it was a good idea at the time.
How long has the choir been in operation?
116 years.
That's a while. Crikey, there's a lot of history there then.
It's one of the oldest choirs in Wales. No doubt it would be disputed as to who is the oldest choir. So we simply say, certainly one of the oldest choirs in the area and one of the oldest choirs certainly in Wales as well.
What difference do you think being in a choir makes in the community overall?
It makes a big difference. You can imagine the problems we've had with COVID-19 at the moment and the difference that's made to us. We haven't been able to have traditional practices. We've had online practices, but there's nothing like a group of men getting together and doing something that they love. And that thing that they love is obviously singing and doing their very best for an organisation such as Pontnewydd Male Choir.
There's other questions, of course, around that with men's mental health too, isn't there?
Whereas we don't focus on that, it definitely does help. You've got all sorts of things going on out there. Lots of people these days do suffer with mental health, and it's something to prepare for, it's something to focus on, and it's something to be part of. So, you've got quite a family community there. There's loads, on the books, we've got 68 members. COVID-19 might affect that, our membership, but there's nothing like being part of a large organisation which becomes involved in activities to raise money largely for other charities. Pontnewydd Male Choir is a charitable organisation and we raise quite considerable sums of money for other charities.
What would you say would be the most rewarding aspect then of being in the choir?
Well, there's got to be several. One of them is that we practice and we practice. Our practices have been limited, as I just explained just recently. But when you practice, and then you actually perform sometimes on big stages. For instance, we have performed at the Royal Albert Hall with WAM. WAM is the Welsh Association of Male Choirs. And there you can have up to 800 men performing in front of audiences of a couple of thousand. And you practice and practice. And when it all comes together and you make a wonderful sound, then that is probably the biggest reward that you can expect and that you get from being part of a male voice choir.
Now, if you could make one wish for the choir, aside from COVID, what would it be?
One wish. Well, I would like us to be able to get back together. We've progressed from online practices, which didn't work particularly well for the choir because obviously you've got predominantly older membership and some have not got access to the internet. I haven't got email addresses and so on, so you've got that as an issue. But also the online practices didn't suit some people. Men like to sing together and hear the part that you're trying to sing right next to the person next to you. And if you can't do that, then it can be very difficult. So that wasn't able to happen on online practices. We're now back in the practice room. Yes, get back to a sense of normality. That's the wish I would have. And to get the whole choir back, where we have 4 sections, tenors, second tenors, baritones and basses, and hear the harmonies going on. That's the rewarding part. Get back in close-knit singing groups where you can hear the part you're trying to sing very close to you, and get back on stage and perform for worthwhile causes.
How can people get involved then?
Pontnewydd Male Choir practice at Fairhill Methodist Church. We're there on a Tuesday and a Friday. This is all on our website. It's also on our Facebook page, and people can come along. Obviously, we would like people to be able to sing before they come. We don't necessarily want to teach them from scratch. But as long as they are prepared to put the work in, there is quite a bit of effort involved in being part of a male voice choir. we've probably got a repertoire of at least 40 to 50 pieces, which have to be learned, and these can be in different languages, Welsh, but others as well, Italian occasionally. So we're trying to modernize our repertoire. So yes, people can become involved by turning up. They can speak to me or one of the points of contact for the choir, and we can go through what's necessary. So what usually happens for somebody who wants to join the choir, come along, sit in, listen to a practice, and see if it's the sort of music you would like to sing, see if you think you're capable of singing it, hear some music, go away with, and then come and join in a few practices. We'll put you next to a mentor who would look after you and say, you're singing this right, you're singing this wrong, I sing a bit louder, sing a bit quieter, whatever it might be. After a few weeks, the musical director would give you a voice test, just to see that you're meeting the sort of standard that would be required for the choir.
Now, you talked there about the website. What was the website that people need to get in touch with?
Simply that, Pontnewydd Male Choir.com.
Perfect. Martin, thank you so much for talking to me today.
No problem. Thank you. You take care, Patrick.
And don't forget, if you want to contact TVA, Torfaen Voluntary Alliance, for anything regarding the third sector here in Torfaen, get in touch regarding funding, volunteering, any kind of support or governance. info@tvawales.org.uk. You can also find us on social media on Facebook, Instagram and Twitter at TVA Wales, or of course on the website. It's all there at tvawales.org.uk. This podcast is produced by TVA, Torfaen Voluntary Alliance.